The Revenant is about survival. A brutal, relentless fight against nature set in the icy wilderness of 1823. But what many don't realize is that this struggle wasn't just on screen. The actors, the crew, every single person involved were pushed to the brink. Freezing temperatures, dangerous stunts, a director whose vision demanded absolute realism, and in the end, this film almost claimed more than just its reputation. This is the story of The Revenant. For a while, I was obsessed with The Revenant. I saw the film 3 times in theaters over 2 weeks, and I was just unable to let go of the brilliant cinematography and the immersive experience it just offered as a whole. And it inspired me to create my own short film called Evac, which tells the story of 2 soldiers escaping after an ambush, basically similar to The Revenant. And I aim to emulate the cinematography of The Revenant as closely as possible. And I can recall that we also always shot in frozen temperatures. Link to the film can be found in the description. The physical demands of working under such conditions were challenging, to say the least, but if you're truly passionate about your film, you'll be able to endure things you wouldn't have ever imagined. And same must have been true for the director of The Revenant, Alejandro Iñárritu. In 2014, Alejandro's Birdman was released, a film that dazzled critics with its one-shot illusion and won him 3 Academy Awards: Best Director, Best Picture, and Best Original Screenplay. Fresh of this triumph, Iñárritu could have chosen a safer, more conventional project, but instead, he set his sights on something far more ambitious: The Revenant. Inspired by the true story of frontiersman Hugh Glass, he envisioned a film that wasn't just about survival, but one that felt as brutal and unrelenting as the real wilderness. Determined to outdo himself, he rejected green screens and sound stages. Iñárritu was determined to shoot the film entirely with natural light. That meant no artificial lighting, just the sun, the snow, and the firelight of torches. This made shooting painstakingly slow. The cast and crew could only film for a few hours a day, meaning production stretched far beyond its original schedule. But what truly made The Revenant brutal was the environment. Filming took place in remote locations in Canada and Argentina, where temperatures could drop as low as -40 degrees Fahrenheit. The actors weren't in cushy trailers between takes. They were out in the wild, enduring real frostbite, hypothermia, and exhaustion. Leonardo DiCaprio, already known for his dedication, was pushed further than ever before. To play Hugh Glass, he had to eat raw bison liver, despite being a lifelong vegetarian. He was frequently submerged in freezing rivers. He had to crawl across ice-covered landscapes for miles at a time. DiCaprio later admitted, "I can name 30 to 40 sequences that were some of the hardest things I've ever had to do." But even he had it easier than some of the crew. The freezing conditions were so extreme that multiple crew members quit mid-production. Some even suffered frostbite. Camera operators report losing feelings in their fingers. Tom Hardy, who portrayed Fitzgerald, delivered a powerful performance. He and DiCaprio performed the fight scene with such intensity that it appeared entirely real, though Hardy later clarified they maintained control throughout. But the most dangerous stunt? The infamous bear attack scene. This wasn't CGI magic. It was a stunt performed with real full-body harness and wire rigs that yanked DiCaprio across the ground with brutal force. He was tossed, slammed, and crushed repeatedly to capture the realism of the attack. As filming dragged on, the production budget ballooned from $60 million to $135 million. Crew members were revolted. They claimed Iñárritu's obsessive perfectionism was reckless and dangerous. One crew member even described the shoot as a living hell. Ultimately, The Revenant achieved great success, winning 3 Oscars, including Best Actor for DiCaprio and Best Director for Iñárritu. For many, the awards actually justified the hardships they endured. But in retrospect, Iñárritu definitely acknowledged the difficulty, stating, "If we endured hardship, at least we created something remarkable." And I would say the film is a happy accident after a very, very bad decision. However, the Oscar winner said it was important to ignore logic on occasion, because we need that sometimes. To be naive, blind from reality. If not, we will not embark on things. I knew how difficult it would be, but now I can feel how far I actually was from reality when I was deciding on how this was to be made. But I'm glad I made that irresponsible decision. But it could have ended really bad.